Welcome to another episode of It's Just Alex P. And on this episode, we're traveling down the internet rabbit hole. So, I like these ones because they're quick, they're easy to do. So, on my timeline recently on YouTube, this thing came up about, voter ID. I've been checking out some of the couple of things I've seen on Forbes and so forth and reading some of the articles on voter ID. So, of course, once you start looking for something, everything else pops up. And I came across this video that I wanted to check out. So the name of the video is How White Liberals Really View Black Voters. And this is on Fox News YouTube channel. So let's dig in and see what they really think. Let's see what this investigative journalism is doing for us out here. But let's check it out.
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here in Berkeley, California to find out if voter ID laws suppress the black vote.
Let's find out. Looks like he's a pretty liberal.
Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say that those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
How?
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider.
Damn. Even though there's opportunities for us to get it online, we can't ever get that. We don't have the means to do that. And there's literally like programs out there that you could get internet for free. Like, it goes to show what these people actually know about black people or the struggles that black people really have. But these are the people that say they're fighting for black people, but they really don't know any of our actual struggles.
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works. Like, a lot of people have.
What? We don't have the knowledge of how it works? And these are the people that say they're fighting against racism, right? And they're just blatantly racist. It's like they're so against racism, but it seems like all they're doing is creating more racism.
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, they don't have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I
What?
also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to
Holy
ask
shit.
black people.
These people are so racist. Suppressing the vote, what voter suppression looks like? People intimidating people at the ballot box. That would be real intimidation, right? Real voter suppression. Or not putting the ballot box in underserved communities. That's real, right? And I'm not saying those things aren't happening, but the idea that we're fighting for this and not fighting for the actual ones that we need people to fight for, the actual issues, just goes to show our politicians they all horrible. It's all like it's all like a fashion show in a way. They're just doing whatever they want. They just pretend like we're working, but they never actually pass anything that actually helps anybody, right? They never do.
I'm
They just think
here
we're
in East
helpless.
Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard.
Let's see what black
You
people
have
think.
ID, Chloe? Carry ID?
Yes, I have good ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has ID. Why would they think they don't have ID? That's a lie.
Damn.
Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
I don't know, that she looks so hurt. I'm hurt as well. I'm not saying this wasn't cut a certain way. Wait, how can you even cut it a certain way, right? They blatantly just said black people don't have the means. Black people can't even afford data, or we don't even know how to use the internet. Forget this. Forget this. The simple thing is say we can't afford it, right? Black people can't afford it. But they say we can't even use it and we don't even understand the internet to be able to go online and get ourselves IDs. Can you like believe this? This is crazy. And these are the people that we continue to vote for in the black community, and then we hate other black people if they go a different direction. These are the people we're voting with. Wow. Let's see if anybody in the actual black community cares about the voter ID law, right? Let's see if they actually care. Because from what I understand, what I think the voter ID law is, because Democrats want to continue to have power. How do you continue to have power when people, when the black vote is starting to move to Republicans, or just go a different direction, right? Or just simply just not vote for them, right? They do? They try to find other means. So if they don't have voter ID laws, what happens? You can have illegal aliens vote, right? And then that's how you control it. It's all about power. It's not actually about helping the black community. It's about power. And if people think this is what they call suppressing votes, you guys should see what it looked like back in the day, all right? I think I'm gonna see if I can find that article, or what the tests that people usually have to take for them to be able to vote. Let's continue and see what the black people think about this.
I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Yeah, everybody that I know have ID. Like, that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York.
Especially, they gotta have ID in New York. Especially, why do black people not have ID? We get pulled over the most by police, right? You gotta show your ID. They stop us, they just ask for ID.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yeah.
What is this from type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing I brought with me.
Those legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Where?
What did I say?
I know it's that on 25th Street.
You know.
So we don't know how to get there, or we don't have the means to get there.
Where the ID, the DMV is by you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know
Right
how to
over
get
there?
Yeah.
Do you have a problem getting there? Do you have to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's
Some ignorant stuff, man.
because honestly, everybody has access to the internet. Even little kids can figure out how to work the internet. I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly?
Exactly, I do it at work. So of course I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data? You can see
Unlimited.
Unlimited data.
I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say
Oh my goodness.
people who have this perception of ID?
Ignorant.
They're pretty much ignorant.
Yeah, ignorant.
My thought process was.
I
Ignorant.
just think that's ignorant.
And these are the people that say they're trying to help black people. I really think about that, people. Really think about that. I'm not saying this covers like all the liberals, but come on, man. If there's some thoughts like that and it's being spread, that's who they are. These people, it's like, oh my God, black people are just so weak. We just need to protect them and put our hands around them and sing kumbaya and just protect these black weak people. They're just so sincere in some of the comments that they make. Just so sincere. It's so frustrating, right? It's so frustrating. And they're the first ones to say, hey, you're being racist. Hey, everything you've done has been racist. And they're the most racist.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
Judging somebody, like, well, you judging them for their black, say that they don't got it.
People are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Are you
Love show my ID.
You have no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if when you go to vote and they say, can we please just see your ID and make sure you are who you say you are? Do you have an issue with that? No. Would you have a problem if there was a rule where you had to show your ID in order to vote?
Like, my point of view is that I don't have anything against the voter ID laws. And I think much of the laws, when you read through them, is that they give people an opportunity. They show them how to get the actual ID. So it's not like they're like saying you gotta get ID, but they don't provide ways for you to be able to get it, right? And most of the people are gonna, if they don't have IDs, they're gonna need IDs anyway. So we should be trying to push for them to get IDs if they don't have IDs. And I think personally, it keeps the integrity of the actual election, right? Because if you don't have the proper IDs and whatever the case is, you can, one of the forms I've seen in some other communities is that somebody can sign and say, yes, we believe that's you. That's who you say you are. Like, I sign a paper and say, yes, you are who you say you are, right? I get a random drunk on the street to sign a paper. Yes, I'm who I am. Here's $100. Like, these laws, like, the things that they're saying are racist are just not what's actually racist. And it's like a wool being put over people's eyes. And when you actually understand that what the liberals or what the Democrats are trying to do when it comes to like throwing up all this smoke about these voter ID laws, is that they're trying to cover it up and say it's for blacks or whatever the case is. But what they're actually trying to do is that they're trying to pump up the vote in a sense so they can get illegal aliens to be able to vote. So those are my thoughts on the video. What are your thoughts? But also don't forget as well, you know, where I find the video, Fox News, don't forget that they're mainstream media. Mainstream media, all they do is curb videos and stories to the narrative that they're trying to serve, right? I'm not saying they did that in that video, but I'm just saying you have to take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to mainstream media, because they're looking for ratings. They're not actually trying to help people, and they just push a narrative that makes them look good and pull people in. That's why they use some of the taglines that they use, and you know, to bait people in. So take everything with a grain of salt.